Our days are jam-packed, full days of school and after-school activities for kids and full work days, maybe even a workout squeezed in there for parents. Sleep is precious and breakfast is often overlooked. So joining us with easy grab-and-go breakfast options is Dr. Laura Christoph. She's a professor of nutrition and she's here to give us some great ideas. Dr. Christoph, nice to have you here.
Thanks for having me, Ashley. So today we're going to be talking about the anatomy of a healthy breakfast and then giving some tips on if you have 15 minutes, 5 minutes, or if you're literally sprinting out the door. So, so first, you know, when we think of a healthy breakfast, what do we need? We need protein to start off our day. We always want at least 10 grams of protein to start off our day, just to keep us going till lunchtime. Second, we want fiber. So we want some sort of fiber-rich grain or fruit or vegetable. That's also going to keep our blood sugar steady throughout the morning instead of, you know, that sugar rise and crash you get from eating a Pop-Tart, you know.
Right, or a donut or something
exactly.
like that.
And or coffee with cream and sugar, which a lot of us end up having as our breakfast, right? And then lastly, we want some sort of healthy fat, and that's kind of the third step to the equation to keep us full till lunch. So a healthy fat, you know, could be an oil, it could be a little bit of cheese, it could be an egg yolk, it could be a nut butter or some nuts.
So there really are a lot of options and different ways that you can have all of those elements of a nutritious breakfast, especially if you are literally running out the door.
Right, definitely. So first, the first one I'm going to talk about could be 15 minutes or it could be 5 minutes, depending on if you make it yourself. So granola is sort of always a favorite among people. You know, it's sweet, it's crunchy, it tastes delicious in yogurt, but it also tends to be very high in added sugar. So if you make it yourself, you know, it can be a lot healthier. So the typical granola recipe I use is 6 cups of oats, half cup of nut butter, quarter cup of oil, quarter cup of honey, and then a half cup of some sort of dried fruit, half cup of some sort of nut. Just mix them together, put them in a pan, 350 for 15 minutes, and you have a healthy granola.
So it is easy, and you can make a lot at once and then just store it in a jar, and then you have it.
Totally.
And then you know exactly what went into it. So that's one option, and there's the protein and fiber and everything that you want.
Yeah, definitely. And if you have Greek yogurt, especially plain Greek yogurt, you know, you can have upwards of 15 to 20 grams of protein just from the yogurt alone and no added sugar, which is also great. So the second recipe is a really fun one, and one of my clients taught me this a few weeks ago, and I just can't stop having it for breakfast. So the ingredients, the simple ingredients are 1 banana and 2 eggs. And you just mix them together and they make a pancake.
And you almost always have some bananas on your counter and always have eggs in your fridge.
Right.
So it's one of those things that you pretty much can always make it.
Yeah.
And I would imagine you could freeze them.
Yeah, definitely. Up to 6 months or so if you have them in a freezer bag. I noticed in my banana recipe, I like it a little bit thicker, and I also like the cinnamon taste. So something that I added a twist on it, I put 2 tablespoons of coconut flour to thicken it a little bit, and that adds a little bit more fiber too, plus a teaspoon of cinnamon. So mixing those all together, creating, you know, about 4 small banana pancakes. It's super filling, and it's only about a 300-calorie breakfast with upwards of 12 grams of protein.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't wait to try it. So then, are we going to make them now?
Yeah, we're going to make them now.
I see a nice hot pan there.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll let you crack the eggs.
Oh,
I know
thank
you're
you.
an expert.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I see you on here.
You watch Mass Appeal, and
do.
you see that I don't typically get shells in, but we'll see. I've been making eggs a lot in the morning, too, so at least I know I'm getting my protein. Okay,
Yeah.
so there's the eggs.
There's the egg, and then I mashed up a very ripe banana. You do want it to be ripe if you like your pancakes sweet, like I do. And then you can pour in, you know, as much or as little of the extra coconut flours you want.
And there's
then
cinnamon in there already?
Already.
So what we're going to do is just mix this up. You basically just put the pancakes right on your griddle, and you cook it like you would a regular pancake.
Cook it like you would a regular pancake, ready in a couple minutes.
Easy. Wow, well, we're going to finish making this, and then we'll show you what they look like. And if only we could share, we would let them taste it if they were here, wouldn't we?
We would, but it's very easy to make on your own.
It is. So we'll show you the finished product in just a bit. Thanks so much, Dr. Christoph. Always nice to have you here. Really cool. So we're back here in the kitchen, which I'm loving because we're with Dr. Laura Christoph, professor of nutrition. We're talking about quick and easy breakfast on the go. So before you go to the biggie, make sure that you have a nice breakfast so that you can be ready for all the other food you're going to eat.
Right.
A healthy breakfast. So we finished up those banana pancakes. Recap what went into them again.
Yeah, so in the banana pancakes, the essential ingredients are just 1 banana and 2 eggs. And if you like your pancakes a little bit thicker like I do, then you can add in 2 tablespoons of coconut flour, and I add a little cinnamon for taste as well.
And you really don't even have to put any syrup on them or anything. You could just eat them like this on the go, wrap them in some foil or wax paper and eat them in your car.
Yeah.
And it's a really good breakfast you can feel good about eating.
Right, definitely. Or you can make a bunch of them on Sunday, you know, take 5 bananas and 10 eggs, make them on Sunday, and then have some each morning as you head out the door.
Oh my goodness, I can't wait to make these. Then it's really on the go. Just pop them in the microwave and then take them to go.
Yeah.
Now, even more ideas you have here. I see a little quiche on the plate, but it's interesting how you make it.
Yeah, so this is quiche in a mug, and this is kind of something that's been popping up on Pinterest a lot, you know, baking in a mug in the microwave. So all this is 2 eggs, a tablespoon of milk, and then a 1/4 cup of any sort of vegetable or cheese mixture that you want to do. So I did, because it's fall and I love apples in the fall, I did an apple and cheddar. And all we do is mix the mixture up right in the mug, pop it in the microwave for a minute, and you have a quiche to go. You can eat it in the car.
It's so easy. So
Yeah.
do you want to spray this with any kind of non-cooking spray? You don't have to.
You could, but you don't really have to if you use whole milk. If you use whole milk, then the milk, the fat in the milk just tends to coat it a little bit for you.
That's so simple.
Yeah, and it depends on the microwave too. Usually if I'm using a different microwave than my own, I might check it every 30 seconds. Some take more like 45 seconds, others take more like 1.5 minutes. So I would just kind of check it out as you go.
That's great. And then you could literally just take your coffee cup and eat your quiche like that, or just take it out and bring it to go.
Exactly, and there's no crust, and you know, the crust of the quiche is what has all the butter and refined flour and added sugar and added salt. So so taking that pie crust out gets rid of some of those discretionary calories.
Yes, great idea. I love that. And now I see little apple sandwiches there. Those are adorable.
Yeah, so also if you have a few minutes to, you know, cut up an apple into little rings and put, you know, 2 tablespoons of peanut butter in between, you end up with a protein-packed, a little bit of fat, high fiber, little breakfast on the go. So much better than just grabbing a piece of fruit. Having that apple with a little bit of peanut butter in there will keep you fuller for a lot longer with the protein and the fat.
So it's like a little apple sandwich, and the good thing too is you don't have to peel the apple. So
Right.
it's literally just take the apple out of your fridge, wash it good, and cut it up and put some peanut butter on it. And of course you do want to use the all-natural peanut butter.
Right. On peanut butter, you always want to look for just 1 ingredient peanuts, or if you want a little salt, peanuts and salt, but trying to avoid that palm kernel oil and added sugar that don't really need to go in peanut butter. It tastes good just with peanuts,
Just
right?
peanuts, yeah. Now you've talked about some really great ideas that literally will only take you 5 minutes or less, or 15 if you do make your own granola. But if you really do wake up and you're against the clock, you don't have time at all, you're literally flying out the house, you still can grab breakfast.
Right, and you really need to make an effort to have the breakfast, because it's just going to prevent you from overeating later in the day. I mean, studies show that people who eat breakfast are less likely to overeat later in the day when, you know, that 4 o'clock comes and we want that extra snack and coffee, or evening comes and we tend to overeat things that might not be so healthy.
Right, exactly. And so what you have here is grab a piece of fruit.
Yep, piece of fruit, and add, you know, a 1/4 cup of nuts. There's lots of companies that even make prepackaged nuts that are just in little 100 calorie or 200 calorie packs. And if you go for a bar or a shake, you know, you always want to do real food first, but if worst case scenario, you can only grab a bar or a shake that's, you know, been sitting in your car or something, try to look for something that has at least 10 grams of protein, at least 3 to 4 grams of fiber, and lower added sugar.
Yes, because you don't, I mean, it's great if you do grab something on the go, but you don't want it to be full of sugar. Then you're kind of defeating the purpose of having breakfast. So make sure that it does have those specific amounts of protein and fiber in them. And also just some, like you said, nuts on the go. And so you can always get them, keep them in your house. They don't go bad for a while. And then when you do have those mornings when you just don't have time, you grab them.
Right.
And then you can go. Well, thanks so much, Laura. So we're going to recap.
you.
We've got some granola with yogurt. We've got some pancakes and fruit, a quiche that you can make in a coffee cup, some apples and peanut butter, and a pear, nuts, and a bar. These are all great ideas.
Exactly.
Good. And don't forget your water or your coffee or anything, but just try not to add all the sugar and all the added stuff into it. Thank you. And this is for on the go. So I'm actually